Hey yo, what is going on YouTube? It's your boy Skyrit here, back at it again with another video, and today we are here with a base Vegeta guide. Now, this will be the completion of my guides for my main team, maybe besides Gotenks and a couple of other characters, but mostly this is my main team, so that's the guide of them now. Well, I mean, what I mean is, you know, because these are the three I played, so these are like the first three I made guides on, so that's what I kind of mean. So yeah, today is going to be some base Vegeta. Now, out of the three characters I play, I do definitely believe this character is the hardest of, the hardest character to, well, I feel like, Trunks and S Broly are kind of harder to master, but I think base Vegeta is a little bit tricky too, so we'll go over all the simple stuff. Obviously, in this guide, we're only going to explain neutral, block strings, etc. No combos because I don't want to get that mixed up with everything. And in all honesty, I feel like it would make the video too long. So I feel like just being able to put everything in one guide and then having combos for a separate video is much better. So yeah. And without further ado, let's go over base Vegeta's normals. So let's have my boy 16 on guard. So one thing you will know is base Vegeta is very stubby. So his buttons do not have a lot of range. They do not. I'm probably gonna go over this like again, but yeah, his buttons don't really have a lot of range. Honestly, it's really just a 5H. His normals is like nothing crazy, but they are pretty good in terms of frame data. His 5L is -2 off rip, and you can even like, if you press back light, you get 2 lights. So it's pretty good for like stagger pressure. So it's pretty good. So yeah, it's pretty good for like block strings if you just want to stagger people. You know, constantly go for something like this. Or just, you know, like knock knock. So yeah, it's pretty good. 5M is also a good button too, -5. Does end your turn, but it's okay for what it is. It's okay for what it is. You can sort of space it, and it's not bad. 2M is -5 as well. If you space it, I mean, it's still gonna be -5 regardless. Oh no, -2. So yeah, it's pretty good move, I'd say. It's okay, nothing crazy. I keep saying pretty good because I don't know. I'm just trying to give you guys a little bit of hope. It's good for what it is, I guess. 2L is a little stubby, but it does have decent range when it comes to like going for a mix-up. So you know you won't be able to mess up. Because most characters, when they go for a mix-up, their 2L will usually whiff like Bardock's. So his 2L doesn't really whiff like that, so that's a good thing because it does have like decent range for what it is. So yeah, pretty good. His 5LL or his 5LL is this a little follow-up, and his entire auto combo sends him in the air, so you can kind of go for like a mix-up here. So it's not bad. And this is what the auto combo will look like. 30 fireworks. That's probably one of my favorite auto combos in the game. So yeah. His 5H kind of puts him, well, it's pretty standard. I mean, nothing crazy. Does send him forward. And it actually has good frame data if you space it. It's it's actually -5, -3. It's actually pretty good when you space it. So honestly, this is like one of the best ways to start pressure with base Vegeta. So it's not bad. It really isn't. So yeah, it's not bad. It honestly isn't. 2H is pretty standard. It's nothing crazy. It's nothing crazy. I mean, good upward hitbox. I mean, what more do you really need? What more do you really need? It has a good upward hitbox. It's honestly good for what it is. It's honestly good for what it is. So yeah, it's not a bad button. Is JL? I mean, his knee again, pretty standard. It is fast. So yeah, nothing crazy. JM is your go-to air button in terms of like keep away, not to approach, to keep away. I feel like I should have mentioned this with all the JMs, but this is a good keep. This is an okay keep away. Not as good as Trunks' NS Broly's for sure, but it's there. And it is like a little on the fast side since it is 9 frames, so it's not bad. JH is pretty standard as well. It is pretty standard, nothing crazy, nothing too crazy. So yeah, it's pretty normal. It's your normal aerial. J2H, I mean, this is one of your good buttons too. If you want to like stay in the air, this can help you delay your landing a ton. And you can even like air dash off it too. And this is the kind of stuff you'll use off level 3s, but we will go over that later. So I will keep you guys in mind. I will keep y'all in mind. So yeah, I'm not missing on any normals though. So I think we're good on the normals for the most part, I'd say. Oh yeah, and 6M, in case you guys are curious, it's pretty standard. It's nothing crazy. Again, all this is like very basic. Like if I were to go over to other 2 Vegetas, it would be the same thing for like 6M and whatnot. So it is nothing crazy. So yeah, that's it for normals. Now let's get to the specials. Now for the specials, I do want to say, now the specials, they're nothing crazy, but they do have a lot of utility. Because he only has about, I would say, 5 specials, I think. 5 specials. So, let's go over a few of them. First off is Rocket Kick. Has 3 variations. His light cut and Rocket Kick keeps him in the air. You can still go for like a little mix-up. You can also float too. So yeah, pretty good. And to float, you just hold up. That's it. You just hold up. So yeah, you get a little mix-up, which is pretty cool. It isn't bad, so yeah. You go for like a little cool little 50-50 basically. So yeah, pretty cool. Pretty cool, right? His medium kick sends him pretty much full screen. Pretty much full screen if I'm not mistaken. So yeah, but it is not safe on block. Like point blank, it is not safe, so you will get punished for it. It also doesn't gel in the vanish either. I do want to note that. It also does not gel in the vanish. So let's just get that out of the way. Yeah, it is not gel in the vanish, so please do not use this move. Do not use this move unless they get hit by your little Ki Blast, which, honestly, since we're not doing a combo, but I'll probably go over this in neutral in a bit. So yeah, keep that in mind. His EX crosses up. Oh yeah, and I should also mention, they also have different properties on hit too, so let me show you. Light just sends them flying. You can kind of use it to extend your combos. Medium, it only bounces in the corner. You get a little combo. Yeah, I mean, you can't really combo it off of mid-screen. You would have to use bar to do. It's a combo. Oh, Lord. So, yeah. And the EX crosses up. And, yeah, it crosses up. And you can't use it again. It won't have the same property if you spam it. And it doesn't even really combo into itself at all, so. You can also confirm with it, too. Or you can spend the bar to get a little extension. So yeah, you do get a little extension with it. Now for this guide, I will explain how to do loops. But I won't show you all the variations of the combos. I will show you how to do loops though. And I'll explain it in the most simple way fashion possible so no one gets confused. Even though this isn't a combo video, I will show you how to do loops. So yeah, those are the specials. Knee dive. Knee dive is pretty standard too. The light knee dive goes for a knockdown. You can't really get the grab. The grab, which we'll explain in a bit. The medium lets you get the grab. You can also combo off it too, if you do the grab. EX is pretty much the same thing as the medium and the light combined. Faster speed, and gives you the property to you know, go for the thing. You can also extend combos too. You can also go for extensions, but you will not get a knockdown. You will not get a knockdown. And that goes for the medium and the light. Well, the light you can't even combo off of anyways, but you know. Just want to throw that out there. And you could sort of extend it for combos, but it's not really the greatest. Like, your characters won't be able to get a slight knockdown, unless of course you're playing Esper early. Yeah, you won't really get a combo unless you're Esper early. So yeah, that's pretty much it. And it's also an overhead, so it can get 2H'd. It can get 2H'd. That I will tell you now. You can get 2H'd for this. So yeah, remember, it's an aerial move, so you will get 2H'd for this. Or any move that has anti-air or any sort of reversal, you will get beat. So be really careful when you're using this move, you know, because it does not beat mashing. It does not beat mashing at all. Even if you were to EX, it does not work either. So just keep that in mind. Rocket Kick cannot be 2H'd unless it's aerial. Unless it was using the air, it cannot be 2H'd. So I will also let you guys know that too, because some people think you can 2H the Rocket Kick. That's not true. If it's grounded, you cannot 2H it. If it's an aerial, you can 2H it. Remember the difference. The next special is the Destructo Disc. It's a pretty good projectile. You can also angle it. So you can angle it down by just pressing down after you do the move. Or you can let it rock, and it goes like, you know, it goes like pretty much center, a little center upward. And if you hold it up, it just goes up. This is what you usually use in combos, though. You can sort of use it close range if the opponent were to jump on you. But, I mean, you're usually using this in neutral, since the whiff recovery isn't really all that great. Actually, I lied. Whiff recovery is good, since you could air dash off it. So, yeah. Oh, yeah, and I should mention that. You can air dash off it. And you can also go for your mix-ups here. You can also float with it, too. You can float it, so... And the float, I told you, you just hold up. So yeah, you get a little 50-50. So yeah, not bad, right? Not bad. That's Destructo Disc. And the last one is Grab. Now, the Grab you can combo off of, and you do get a knockdown. But you cannot use the Grab again. Cannot use it again. But there is a little trick for this. Now, I was gonna go over supers in a separate part, but I will just show you the differences now. Or better yet, we'll go over this during. We'll actually go over this in supers. But this is a command grab, but it's not a good command grab. Don't actually use this as a real command grab. It's actually not that great. It's not as great as you may think it is. His Ki Blast is really good. It's really good for keep away since it has like little to no whiff recovery. And it's so good that you can literally react to a super dash after throwing a Ki Blast, like 2 of them. And you can even spam Ki Blast and still be able to 2H. Well, I mean, let me see. Yeah, so it's pretty good. It's a pretty good Ki Blast, I'm not gonna lie. So yeah, Base Vegeta has really good keep away with these. And he also has, well, you can also angle these Ki Blasts too. So when you're in the air, you can press up and it'll go down. If you press neutral, it'll just be normal. And if you press 2, which is down, you get this, which he throws the Ki Blast up instead. And you can sort of use this for like certain setups that I might go over in block strings, but yeah, this is pretty good in neutral as well. You know, if your opponent wants to throw out a beam, you do this too. So yeah. And don't forget to always mix it up. Don't be too predictable with these Ki Blasts. Don't be too predictable. So yeah. And you know, if you press left, it's close range. If you press the middle, it goes mid range. And if you press right, like down right, down left, and down, you know, it all does that. But down right, it's like straight up full screen. So yeah, like it's pretty much tossing you a volleyball. All right, now that that's all over with, 'cause I'm pretty sure that's all of his specials. That's all of it, right? I want to make sure that this is all of his specials before we move on. So yeah, that's it for specials. Now, let's get to the real part, the neutral. Now, how do you play Base Vegeta in neutral? Quite simple. You just do Ki Blast. Well, obviously that's not what you do, right? Basically, you're looking for a Super Dash, you're looking for a reckless approach. That's what you're looking for. And when you do, you punish your opponent for a bad approach. Because he has really good tools for this. Like, if your opponent wants to try to approach like close range, you can go for something like this, or you can go for something like this, or you can even go for something like this. The overhead is what you usually want to use, like when your opponent's in the air, like if they're jumping, because you will be able to get a block string if you do land it. So yeah, so that's what you would usually use it for, to keep your opponent in place and to like start pressure. So yeah, it's pretty good for the most part, I would say. Obviously I'm messing it up, but you can like call an assist sort of. So yeah, it's honestly not bad. It's honestly not bad. But for the most part, neutral, Ki Blasts, Destructo Disc, kicks to confirm, EX kick to sort of throw your opponent off, and for like a mix-up kind of thing. And this, if you want to catch someone throwing a beam or something that's full screen. So yeah, all of these are very good tools. All of these are very good tools. So don't underestimate your tools. Use them well. All right, and now we move on to my favorite part: the block strings. The block strings. So Base Vegeta has a lot of them, but we'll go over the most important ones. So, first off, we'll go over the Rocket Kick one. Rocket Kick, well, obviously you get like a little mix off it. You can go for overhead, or you can go for low. Well, obviously I missed my 2L there. And if you float it, you will be able to get the low. So don't forget that. Float it to get the low. So yeah, float it to get your low. And if you want to go for an overhead, you just air dash, or you can also float it too. Well, in your case, you would have to do like, no, actually just air dash. Yeah, because you don't really get like a true 50-50. The true 50-50 comes from the Destructo Disc. Now you need a high blocks on assist for this to work. You can go ahead and go for mind games with this, like with regular, like, you know. But you know, for the most part, it won't jail. So you're better off actually having a high blocks on assist, you know, that actually jails. That didn't work. So yeah, you see how all that jailed? Because I have a high blocks on assist. So check out your team, see if they have a high blocks on assist you can use. And if they can't, then you might be losing out on a lot of potential for this character. You might, because that Destructive Disc mix is insane. It is insane, trust me. This thing is insane. You can also go for something like this. So yeah, that also works too. So yeah, you don't really get like a true 50-50 off this. You don't. I mean, especially with this tall character. Yeah, you don't really get anything with this tall character. Let's switch him out to let's go switch him out to Team Gohan. Yeah. So you can sort of cross up, but I mean, nothing crazy. The light one is what you want to use to mainly start the pressure. And I probably should have went over the frames, but I mean, I feel like I'd be repeating myself. Obviously, the light one is fast, the medium is slow, EX is just kind of the same. And then, well, I already explained it, but you guys get the gist. I didn't really explain the frame data, so that's my bad, but, yeah, I mean, you guys should be fine, right? I didn't explain the frame data on it, but just to be clear, they're all safe on block except for the medium rocket kick. That's really it. Yeah. The EX rocket kick can be whiff punished, though. I will throw out. If you use it in a block string and they jump it, this can get punished. I will inform you now. This can get punished because of the whiff recovery. So do be mindful of using this in your block strings, because if they jump it and react, you will get jump super dash punished. So it will hurt. So please be very mindful with using that EX rocket kick. It's not the greatest tool. It's not, I promise. Anyways, with that out of the way, instead of going for mix-ups, you can also end your strings in key blasts. You know, because it's pretty safe, I would say, and you can even space yourself out with them to like continue your pressure, sort of. So if your opponent whips a button, depending on the character, you can get a little 2M little whiff punish. You know, it's pretty cool. You can also go for something like this. Not that. You can go for this. Now, if your opponent were to reflect here, it pretty much gets baited. This is like a no-brainer auto-reflect. Yep. So if your opponent were to reflect here, obviously they're going to get cooked. They would get cooked by that key blast. So something you want to use is this. And they can super dash it. I can't tell you to really react to that because that's like a point blank super dash. But if you can, react accordingly. And yeah. So just be mindful of this. It's a very good tool, and definitely use this. Because if your opponent is reflect happy, they will definitely give you that reflect for sure. Because this is what it beats. This doesn't beat Vanish though. Well, if it strings, it does. If it strings, it does, but if it doesn't, yeah, it doesn't beat Vanish. So be mindful of that. It does not beat Vanish, but you can Vanish back. I kind of wish you got a combo off it, I'm not gonna lie. Yeah, I wish you can kind of get a combo off it, I'm not gonna lie. Unless? That was pretty weird. But yeah, it only gets beaten by Vanish, and of course it can get beaten by reversals. But it's only a good reflect tool. Just keep that in mind. So yeah, he has a lot of block strings, obviously, to bait reflect, to mix you up. Obviously the character is very mix-up heavy, so you definitely want to utilize this. Don't worry about this too much, honestly. Don't worry about this. You don't really get anything crazy. But I mean, you could still use it. It's solid for what it is. So yeah. You can even use this to go behind. Like especially in the corner. To throw your opponent off if they don't know that it crosses up. So yeah. It's pretty good. So yeah. Alright. And that is it for... Oh yeah, and one thing. The auto combo. Because the auto combo also gives you a mix-up too. The auto combo also gives you a mix-up too. And just to make sure that it's all real... I mean, that doesn't string. I kind of messed up my string there. So yeah. So yeah. So yeah, auto combo you can also use to mix up with. I just forgot. You can also tick throw with this. So keep that in mind. Don't forget about that. Don't forget about that backlight. The backlight. Just press it twice while you're holding back. That's it. Because most characters in this game usually don't have this. Like, I'm pretty sure Trunks doesn't have it. Yeah, Trunks doesn't really have it, so... Yeah, Base Vegeta is one of those lucky characters who have one. Alright, next up is the loops. Now, I'm gonna go over this very quickly, just so the video isn't too long, you know? I don't want to make the video incredibly long, so I will explain the loops in a very simple manner. So, to do the loops, which is the standard loops, the aerial loops that everyone wants to know. I'll even teach the grounded loops, because why not, but we'll do aerial loops first. So, obviously they need to be in the air, no surprise. Now, to do the loop, you gotta be with me on this one, alright? When you're in the air, the starter for the loop is JM. After the JM, you Ki Blast, which is your JS. You know, your regular Ki Blast. Don't angle it, because it's not going to work if you angle it. It's not going to work like that. So, after you do your JM and you do the Ki Blast, you press light. Now, after that light, because it's a little finicky at first, so don't be too surprised if you can't get the light. But once you get the light, you delay the other light. So remember, what you're trying to go for is a repeat, is a rhythm. So JM, JS, JL, delay, another JL. So it will look something like this. And after you delay that JL, you go for your 5S and delay. So remember, after that 5S, you delay your light until the animation is a little finished. Alright, so let me explain it again. So obviously, like I just said, JM, JS, JL, delay JL into Ki Blast, well JS, delay the JL, delay JL again, and Ki Blast, and then you just do that from there. So it's a repeat. So you literally have to repeat delay. So it's kind of weird for me to explain. So delay, Ki Blast, delay, Ki Blast, delay, Ki Blast. But that's after you get the first part down. So after the starter is when you do all the delaying. It requires a lot of delaying. After the first part, remember, so after that JM Ki Blast, the delaying begins. So yeah, just keep that in mind, alright? Now this is incredibly hard to do at first, but I promise you, this is going to open up a lot of your combo routes for Base Vegeta. It will open up a lot of combo routes. He has a grounded loop, which isn't too hard. I'll show you what it looks like. So yeah, that's what it looks like. That's what it looks like. So yeah, you can only go for now. I should have mentioned for the aerial loops, which I'll learn. I'll teach you guys the amount of reps you can do after this. So for this, you can only go for I think 2 or 3. Oh, I meant the Dragon Rush, but you get the point. So yeah, grounded loops is pretty simple. So obviously you start with your grounded combo, 5M, 2M, or 2M into 5H, but it has to be a 5H starter. JM, JS, and then when you land on the ground, so remember, look for the indicator for when you land on the ground. Once you land on the ground, 5L, and then 5H again, and then it's rinse and repeat. It's rinse and repeat after. It's the same thing. No delaying whatsoever. No delaying. No delaying whatsoever. You're just doing it. You're just looking for the indications when you land on the ground. That's it. And you can end it off with auto combo. And use an assist for an extension. You can level 3. And by the way, after your combos, you can use the grab. What the grab does is it extends the damage, but we'll go over that in supers. But this grab is very important. So yeah, you can do up to 3 reps with this. If it's 5/8, you can do 4. No, you can't. I lied. It's just 3. It's just 3 reps. Now, for the aerial loops. Now, if you have a medium-scaled starter, you can only do up to 3. Pretty sure that was 3. Let me count again. I lied. That's 4. So you can do 4 reps when you're medium scaled. Now, when you do a 2H starter, pretty sure you can get 5. So yeah, you can get up to 5 reps when it's only a 2H, not anything with, you know, not anything with the mediums. It's only off a 2H, like a raw 2H. So yeah, you can also get the aerial loops with the 5H, but this requires a little bit of delaying right after your J2H. So remember, but this requires you mastering the loops first in the first place, assuming you haven't. But when you do that, basically, you, after the JH, you delay 5L, delay JL, JL, and then, you know, it's the regular aerial loop. It's the regular one. You can only do like 2 reps, and you have to end it off with a stomp, which gives you the sliding knockdown, obviously. The light stomp. But yeah. So that's the loops explained. You can also get mid-screen loops. You can, but I feel like I'm going to save that for the combo video. So, yeah. That's your most important loops. Don't worry about the mid-screen loops. They're not too important. I mean, it's good, but it's very character-specific and very assist-specific. So, I mean, not character-specific, but it's very assist-specific. So, it's just no point of doing this. Like, I want to teach you guys the universal stuff, not the character-specific stuff. It's just no point. It's just no point. I find that pointless. So, we're moving on from the loops. So, remember, practice those loops. If I didn't explain it well, please feel free to ask down below, because I'll definitely help you. Because I know I didn't really explain that well, but, you know, just let me know in the comments if you need help with that. So, now, we get to the supers. The supers is the next part. I think that's what we usually do, right? The supers? Yeah, the supers. So, the supers. Now, level 1 is pretty standard. Does about 2296. It's a pretty good super. Level 3 does about 4.2k. You can also use Gallic Gun in the air. I don't know if I made that obvious, but yeah, you can use it in the air. It does the same damage. However, if you use the grab, you get more damage. So as you can see, the super gained 300 plus damage from the grab. The level 3 did less damage, but there's a catch to it. The level 3 has different situations. Now let's go look at the plus frames real quick. I am plus 27 off the standard level 3. Nothing crazy. It's just your regular level 3 Oki, nerfed. But it does more damage. However, if you do the grab, It's less damage, but you get more frame advantage bars. So yeah, it's plus 43. So that's very important because you get to mix up your opponent. You get to mix the hell out of your opponent. So you can go for a 4-way mix-up. A 4-way mix-up. You heard that right, folks. A 4-way mix-up. Oh, God, what was that? So yeah, but that's just I'm just showing you examples. But yeah, you can get a 4-way mix-up off this. Cross-up overhead, same side overhead, same side low, cross-up low. Pretty messed up. You can even do Dragon Rush. You can even do this. It's a whole lot of nonsense once you get to level 3. It's a whole lot of nonsense. So, yeah, definitely always, obviously if you're gonna secure the kill, don't go for the grab, go for this instead. But if you're gonna secure a kill with a level 1, obviously you do grab in a level 1, because it does more damage. And obviously you can do it after your combos. After your combos. You cannot get this off the light knee dive. Yeah, you don't get it off the light knee dive. You only get it off medium and EX. And basically, to get the grab after the knee dive, you just hold forward. Because usually when you do the knee dive, it pushes you back. So just hold forward after the move. Or during the move. That's a lot easier to do during the move. So yeah, just hold forward. That's it. You'll be good. Alright. So now that we've went over the supers. Oh yeah, and by the way, I should mention, it also beats Vanish if someone were to like try to vanish out of the way. So you can pretty much read Vanish with this. Oh lord. So yeah, you can read Vanish with this. So when you wake up with this super, it's either they have to block it, reflect it, but they cannot vanish it. So, yeah, just want to point that out there. But that's it. And level 1 has like certain angles, so you have to figure that out with like certain combos that you may want to do. But for the most part, you should be fine. Mid-screen, you kind of have to like land on the ground to then do it. Or you can end it off with this, because that'll make the super a whole lot easier to land. But in some rare situations, you get a combo like this, just do it like this. But yeah, anyways, now we're gonna do an overview on the character. Now, I personally think Base Vegeta is a very strong character. Obviously, I think highly of my characters. I think he's definitely a strong character. Still is strong, although his his loops did get nerfed, which I'm a little ashamed of. And yeah. So, that being said, I truly think this character's ability of high damage is there. He has tons of meter build. His mix-ups is crazy. He can kill characters with pretty much 2 touches if he wants to. So, yeah. And personally, I think this character isn't bad as most people are exaggerating. Base Vegeta is definitely still a good character. Definitely not trash. People are just crazy these days. I mean, they call Z-Bully trash, but yeah, this character is still good. It's definitely still powerful. He definitely works with a lot of teams, so if you're planning to pick this character up, that's actually a good start because he kind of fits with a lot of teams. He's very good at that, so if you're definitely looking to pick up Base Vegeta, he's definitely that character. He's definitely really good. So yeah. And he's just crazy when it comes to mix-ups, man. He's crazy. He's just crazy when it comes to everything, honestly. Like, his neutral's good, his block strings are good, his frame rate is good, his damage is good, his meter build is good, his synergy is good. Like, so much this character has, man. So much. He's still really powerful. So don't underestimate his power despite his nerfs. He's still good. So, yeah. Fits on a lot of teams, like I said. So, yeah. So I think I went over everything, right? Normals and all that stuff. I'm sure I went over everything. I'm sure I did. I'm sure I went over everything. I hope I did. So, yeah. That being said, I think I'm gonna wrap up this video now. This was This is gonna be one of the other guides I'm gonna make. I'm probably gonna have other character guides in the future, but I think this is gonna be the last character guide for now. I'm probably going to start making like guides on how to improve in fighting games, maybe DBFZ too, since that's usually what I upload. But I will post like general stuff, kind of like coaching, I guess, even though I'm not coaching. But yeah. So that being said, I do hope you guys found this guide helpful. I really hope you did. I even explained the loops, which I normally don't do. I don't explain combos, but since this character kind of thrives off that, I did want to explain them just so people understand. So not only do you understand his loops, you understand how to play the character. Obviously, if you can't do the loops, don't worry about it too much. Don't stress yourself about it. It'll eventually come to play. You have to understand the timing, obviously. You have to understand how the loop even works in the first place. And obviously, it's a guide, so if you want help, if you're struggling on a certain part of the loop, on a certain combo, comment down below, because when it comes to questions, I am there to answer. It may not be right away, but I will definitely answer that question. So don't feel like you're gonna be left on red or whatever, you know, because trust me, I'm better than she is. That being said, that's it for the base Vegeta guide. More guides coming up. Okay, Trunks. Alright, I didn't even end the video. What's wrong with you? That being said, I'll see you guys in the next video. And, toodles.
スーパーサイヤ人の壁、その先を俺はさらに超えてしまった。